I'm Aitana, and I've spent 32 years being a mother, before I realized I'd become a convenience store. The text came in on a Tuesday afternoon, while I was sorting through old photo albums. Derek's message lit up my phone. "Don't expect us for Christmas. We're going to my wife's parents. They're important." I read it 3 times. That exclamation point felt like a slap. My sister Lucia called an hour later. "Have you talked to Derek about the holidays?" "He sent a text," I said. "He's not coming." "Oh, Aitana, I'm sure he's just busy. You know how Simone's family is. They probably planned something big." "He said they're important, Lucia. Her parents are important." "He didn't mean it like that." "Then how did he mean it?" Lucia went quiet for a second. "You're being sensitive. Derek loves you. He's just trying to keep the peace with Simone." "And what am I supposed to do? Sit here alone on Christmas because keeping the peace means pretending I don't exist?" "Maybe you could go to their place. Make it easy for everyone?" I hung up. My neighbor Faye stopped by that evening with cookies. She's 73 and sharp as broken glass. "You look like someone died," she said, setting the tin on my counter. "Derek's not coming for Christmas. Going to Simone's parents instead." Faye snorted. "Of course he is. That woman's had him by the throat since the wedding. What's her family got that you don't?" "Money, a big house, a pool, parents who didn't work 2 jobs to put their kid through college." "So he's embarrassed of you?" "I don't think it's that simple." "It's always that simple, honey. People pick what makes them look good. You remind him of struggle. They remind him of success." I wanted to argue, but the words stuck in my throat. "What are you going to do?" Faye asked. "I don't know yet." "Well, figure it out fast, because I've seen this story before. It doesn't end with him coming to his senses. It ends with you realizing you wasted years waiting for respect that's never coming." 3 days later, Derek called. "Hey, Mom, got your text." "I didn't send a text." "Oh, well, I figured you'd be upset about Christmas." "I'm not upset, Derek. I'm clear." "What does that mean?" "It means I understand where I stand. You've made it very obvious." "Mom, come on. Don't do this. Simone's parents already planned everything. We can't just bail." "But you can bail on me?" "That's not fair. You know how demanding they are." "So am I not demanding enough? Is that the problem?" "You're twisting my words." "No, Derek. I'm repeating them. Important. That's what you said. Her parents are important." He sighed. That specific sigh he's used since he was 16, when I became inconvenient. "I didn't mean it like that. You know I didn't." "Then what did you mean?" "I meant, look, they're older. They won't be around forever." "I'm 54, Derek. You think I'm immortal?" "That's not what I'm saying." "Then say what you mean." Silence stretched between us. "I'll call you on Christmas," he finally said. "Don't bother." I hung up before he could respond. Faye was right. This wasn't about Christmas. This was about a pattern I'd been ignoring for 3 years. 2 weeks later, Derek showed up at my door at 9 in the morning. "We need to talk," he said, walking past me into the house. Simone stayed in the car, scrolling her phone. "Does your wife not come inside anymore?" I asked. "She's on a call. Mom, I need a favor." "Of course you do." He ignored my tone. "We're putting a down payment on a house, the one near Simone's parents, but we're about 10 grand short, and the seller won't wait." $10,000. I know it's a lot, but this house is perfect. Pool, 4 bedrooms, good school district for when we have kids. We'll pay you back in 6 months, maybe sooner. "When was the last time you paid me back, Derek?" "What?" "The $2,000 for the car repair. The $1,500 for the wedding photographer you forgot to book. The $5,000 I lent you for the honeymoon. Those were different situations. Were they? Or am I just the ATM you visit when Simone's parents say no? His face hardened. That's not fair. Fair? You sent me a text saying I'm not important enough for Christmas, and now you're in my kitchen asking for $10,000? I apologized for that. No, Derek. You called and made excuses. That's not an apology. He stood up, his jaw tight. So you're saying no? I'm saying I'm tired of being convenient, only when you need something. Unbelievable. My own mother. Your own mother who you replaced with people who have a bigger house. He walked to the door, then turned back. Simone was right about you. What did she say? That you guilt-trip me. That you manipulate me with the whole I sacrificed everything routine. That you can't stand seeing me happy. I see. And what do you think? I think maybe she has a point. Then you should probably leave. He did. Faye came over an hour later. She'd seen Derek's car from her window. He wanted money, I said before she could ask. And you said no. I did. Good. What did he say? That his wife thinks I'm manipulative, that I guilt-trip him, that I can't stand seeing him happy. Faye sat down heavily. That girl's been poisoning him against you since day one. Maybe she's not wrong. Maybe I do guilt-trip him. Aitana, you worked yourself to the bone for that boy. You don't need to apologize for reminding him of that when he treats you like garbage. My daughter-in-law's words stuck with me, though. I thought about every conversation we'd had, every time Derek had pulled away. 3 days later, my phone rang. Simone. Aitana, we need to talk about Derek. I don't think we do. He's devastated. You really hurt him. I hurt him? He came to you for help and you threw his mistakes in his face. That's cruel. Simone, he told me I wasn't important enough to spend Christmas with, then asked me for $10,000 2 weeks later. Do you see the problem? You're his mother. You're supposed to help him without conditions. And he's supposed to respect me without me begging for it. You're so selfish. My parents would never treat me this way. Your parents have never needed to say no to you. There's a difference between generosity and being used. Derek said you'd be like this. He warned me you'd turn everything into a personal attack. Did he also tell you about the $23,000 I've given him in the past 4 years? Money I'll never see again? She went quiet. Didn't think so, I said. Tell Derek if he needs money he can ask his important in-laws. I hung up. Christmas came and went. Derek didn't call. Neither did Lucia, who'd apparently decided staying neutral meant staying silent. But on January 3rd, Derek called. Mom, I need to come over. It's important. No. What? I said no, Derek. You don't get to show up when it's convenient. Mom, please. Simone and I had a huge fight. I need to talk to someone. Against my better judgment, I let him come. He looked terrible. Unshaven, exhausted, eyes red. She told me I'm not allowed to talk to you anymore, he said, collapsing on my couch. Excuse me? After you refused to lend us the money, Simone said you were toxic, that you were trying to control me, that if I really loved her, I'd cut you off. And what did you say? He looked at his hands. I said I'd think about it. Something in me went cold and still. You said you'd think about cutting your mother out of your life because your wife told you to? I didn't know what else to say. She was so angry. Her parents were there and they all just kept talking about how you were holding me back from my potential. Get out. Mom, get out of my house, Derek. Please, just listen. No, you listen. I sold my mother's wedding ring to pay for your college textbooks. I worked double shifts for 2 years to afford your car. I missed my own father's funeral because I was covering your shift at the restaurant so you wouldn't lose your job. And you stood in a room with people who've known you for 3 years and said you'd think about cutting me off? I was scared. I didn't want to lose her. But losing me was negotiable? His face crumpled. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was wrong. I've been wrong about everything. Simone, she's not who I thought she was. Her parents aren't either. They're cold. They're controlling. I miss you. I miss coming here. I miss feeling like I matter. You do matter, Derek. Just not to me anymore. What? I stood up, walked to my desk, and pulled out papers I'd had drawn up 2 weeks earlier. I'm selling the house. I close in 30 days. I'm moving to Oregon to be near your Uncle Paul and Aunt Marissa. What? Why? Because there's nothing keeping me here. You've made it clear I'm not part of your life. Lucia's taken your side, and I'm tired of waiting for crumbs of respect from people who should love me. Mom, no. You can't just leave. Watch me. What about when Simone and I have kids? What about being a grandmother? I looked at him for a long moment. You'll figure it out. You always do. Just don't expect me to be there when it's convenient. I said I was sorry. And I don't accept it. Sorry doesn't erase 3 years of being treated like a backup plan. Sorry doesn't give me back the dignity you and your wife stripped from me. Sorry is just a word you're using because you finally need something I'm not giving. He stared at me, tears streaming down his face. Please don't do this. I'll fix it. I'll make it right. No, Derek, you won't. Because you don't know how, and I don't have the energy to teach you. He left an hour later, broken and desperate. I didn't feel guilty. I felt free. The house sold in 3 weeks. I packed 32 years of memories into boxes and gave most of Derek's childhood things to charity. He called 19 times. I answered once. Mom, please, let's talk. I left Simone. I told her parents everything. I chose you. You chose wrong. What? You shouldn't have had to choose, Derek. That's the point. But you did, and you chose them. Now you want me back because they showed you who they really are. I'm not a consolation prize. You're my mother. And you're the son who told me I wasn't important. That doesn't disappear because you're suddenly lonely. Lucia called the day before I left. Aitana, you're really doing this? You're just leaving? I am. What about Derek? He's falling apart. Simone drained their bank account and moved back to her parents. He lost the house deposit. He's lost everything. Then he knows how I felt. You're his mother. You're supposed to be there when he fails. I was, Lucia, for 32 years. And he thanks me by ranking me below people who gave him pool parties. I'm done being punished for loving him more than he loved me. You'll regret this. Maybe, but I don't think so. Faye helped me load the last boxes into the truck. You sure about this? She asked. More sure than I've been about anything in years. What if he really changes? What if he figures out what he lost? Then he'll have to live with that. I spent 3 decades teaching him how to value people. If he still doesn't understand, that's not my failure. It's his. Derek showed up as I was about to drive away. He looked destroyed. Thinner, older. Mom, please, don't go. I know I don't deserve it, but please, I need you. No, Derek. You need someone, but it won't be me. I'll do anything. I'll go to therapy. I'll prove I've changed. You want to prove you've changed? Live your life. Build something real. Respect the people who show up for you. And in 10 years, if you've actually become someone different, maybe we'll talk. But don't count on it. 10 years? Or never. Depends on whether you're really sorry or just scared of being alone. I got in the truck and drove away. In my rearview mirror, I saw him standing in the empty driveway, watching me disappear. 3 months later, I got a letter from Derek. An actual letter, handwritten. He said Simone had gotten engaged to someone else, that her parents had cut him off completely once he was no longer useful, that he finally understood what I'd been trying to tell him, that he was working 2 jobs to rebuild his life, that he thought about me every day, that he hoped someday I'd forgive him. I didn't respond. Faye called last week with news. Derek had reached out to her, asking if I was okay, if I was happy, if I ever mentioned him. "What did you tell him?" I asked. "I told him you're thriving, that you laugh more now, that you've built a life that doesn't include him." "And what did he say?" "He cried. Then he asked if you'd ever come back." I looked out my window at the Oregon mountains, at the life I'd built in 8 months. Garden, new friends, peace. "What did you say?" "I said that's not my question to answer." I thought about Derek's letter, still sitting unopened on my counter. I thought about 32 years of sacrifice, 3 years of rejection, and 8 months of freedom. Here's what I keep wondering. If your own child has to lose everything to realize you were worth keeping, were you ever really their priority, or just the safety net they took for granted until it was gone?